Hello everyone and welcome to WWE Discussion. I'm your host in WWE Tuesdays, Doug. In today's episode, I'm going to be discussing SmackDown New Year's Revolution episode, a special edition episode of SmackDown to kick off the new year for Friday Night Smackdown. And what a great start to the year for SmackDown. And with that, we're going to get right into the action, starting with the United States Championship Tournament Finals. Kevin Owens versus Santos Escobar. Kevin Owens would get the win here and sell his broken hand well, building heat and setting up a come from behind battle that saw him drop Escobar with the stunner for the win. A post-match right hand to the face of Logan Paul not only endears the prize fighter more to the people, but it sets up a high-profile U.S. title match at the Royal Rumble. So that's a pretty solid addition to the Rumble. Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul for the United States title. Expect Logan Paul to retain, but this will be a good first title. I think this is Logan's first title defense, so pretty good one right there. A new faction debuts featuring Karrion Kross, Scarlett, the Authors of Pain, and Paul Ellering. So the Authors of Pain have been rumored to be back in WWE for quite some time, but it was a matter of finding a spot for them when it was time for them to re-debut or make their return. And they found a pretty good one paired up with Karrion Kross, and the way it was done was a great angle that not only affirms Lash and the Street Profits are the good guys, but also elevates Kross and AOP as a force on SmackDown. Faction battles are always fun, and when they involve fresh faces, they can finally elevate a competitor like Kross to heights that have been expected of him since his days in NXT. They are even more so. So yes, this new faction debuts at the expense of Lashley and the Street Profits, who can't seem to catch a break because last week the Street Profits got beat up by Humberto and Carrillo. Or not last week, but whenever Escobar and Lashley faced off in the title tournament. So there is another faction on SmackDown, and yeah, so the new faction debuts, and we're gonna get it should make for quite the battle between Lashley and the Profits versus Kross and AOP. However, it'll be very interesting to see who gets booked on the winning end of this feud. WWE Women's Championship match, Michin versus Io Sky, and Io Sky would retain her title and even in defeat the artist known as Mia Yim Shine in this match. It was a rare, lengthy match for a talented competitor who has been underutilized to this point in her second run with WWE. She has great in-ring chemistry with Sky, and the result was a good match that should elevate her stock in the eyes of management and fans alike. In her biggest match in months, she shined bright. The match was good, did not feature any interference, thank goodness, and the result was a quality showcase for both. So let's have more matches like this in the women's division, especially when members of Damage Control are concerned. Seeing Io Sky go out on their own and defend the title is a great thing. You know, you can have members at ringside, but just don't have them actively involved in the match. And if you can't resist the temptation, then just leave them in the backstage area. So be curious to see where Io Sky goes from here. Who does she defend the title against next? Bianca Belair looks like the most likely option, but when would that title match happen? Is the bigger question. Don't think it's happening at the Royal Rumble because Bianca Belair is in the Royal Rumble. So then when? Is it Elimination Chamber? Or can you stretch it out and save it for WrestleMania? I guess we'll see. And then the main event was a triple threat match that was supposed to determine the number one contender for Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. However, the match would end in a no contest, and as a result, Nick Aldis would instead declare that because of Roman Reigns' actions, it would be there is now a fatal four-way match at the Royal Rumble for the undisputed Universal Championship. So yes, despite Roman Reigns' best efforts to prevent Orton, Knight, or Styles from earning a shot at the title, well, it backfired. So the Tribal Chief Jimmy Uso and Sikoa attempted to throw out the match, but SmackDown John Maynard and Nick Aldis instead informed Paul Heyman that he can tell Roman Reigns that he will defend the title in the Fatal 4-Way of the Royal Rumble, which he did not. So tune in to next week's SmackDown. Great way to get people to tune in next week too, because I'm very curious to see how Paul Heyman breaks the news to Roman Reigns. But yeah, I'm assuming there's a follow-up there. The match that preceded the announcement was good and had fans in Vancouver on the edge of their seats, rooting for all three at various points in the match. Orton was the most over, but Knight was right there behind him, proving the creative team's efforts to keep him hot have worked. The match at the Rumble should be good, and will certainly ignite discussion about whether or not Reigns will drop the title at the Royal Rumble and have that WrestleMania match against The Rock, albeit non-title, and allow Cody Rhodes or other main event stars to get that WrestleMania title match without having it kind of just taken away from them, just so WWE can do Rock versus Reigns at WrestleMania. Now, do I think it's likely that Reigns loses the title at the Royal Rumble? I don't think so. I think ultimately this Fatal 4-Way contest ends with Reigns retaining the title. I think Rock versus Reigns happens at Elimination Chamber. I know some people don't think it's a big enough stage. Some people want to complain about the start time. Yada yada yada. It works. I think it will work. I think it works, and then you have Cody Rhodes versus Reigns too at WrestleMania 40. I mean, this is a pretty good road to WrestleMania for Reigns right here. You get him at the Royal Rumble, the Elimination Chamber, an international show in a stadium nonetheless. And then you have WrestleMania, and then he drops the title at WrestleMania. That's kind of the way I see it playing out at the moment. Although if he were to lose the title at the Royal Rumble, then who would he lose it to? Styles, Knight, or Orton? You have to think about that one right there. Maybe Orton. Maybe he loses it to Orton, and then you have Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. Although, you can do either one, Rhodes versus Styles, Rhodes versus Knight, but which one would make the most sense? I think Orton versus Rhodes. There's some history between these two guys that you can certainly factor in to the story for the title match. So I guess we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Royal Rumble just got that much more interesting. So in conclusion, SmackDown starts off the year with a great episode. Their in-ring action was great. New contenders to the top titles at the Royal Rumble were crowned, and there was another noteworthy storyline development in the form of Karrion Kross and AOP's newfound union. A lot happened. The anticipation for the Royal Rumble will be greater, and perhaps Roman Reigns' title run is coming to an end. And with that will conclude this episode of WWE Discussion. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below.